we've set the scene. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is it's fucking hot. It's tarmac. You've been shafted because you can't bring your water in.
They got it all so wrong, didn't they? It's almost like they fucking sat down and said, right, we need to really fuck this up.
This was one of the bits that I felt physically sick when that girl was like, oh, I woke up, I had cold sores, I had ulcers, blah, blah, blah. The doctor said I had trench mouth.
It just all alludes to they just didn't give a fuck. 200,000 people in there and just not getting looked after.
The fucking producers of this show thought it would be a great idea to, in the name of anti-gun crime, hand out 100,000 candles, and then one of the most insane visuals I've ever seen. The shots in that documentary, it's literally like looking at an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back and listen to this podcast.
Oh.
APMA, how we doing? We're back with another episode. In today's episode, we're talking Woodstock 99, baby, which is it's not actually Woodstock 99, baby, but it's a documentary on Netflix that I watched, the boys watched, and it is just...
It's carnage.
It's insanity. And I actually feel ashamed. You know, me and Lozzie, we did the music festival content back in the day. I'd never heard of this.
No.
I'd never heard of this in my life. But what it made me realise was when, with Redden Festival, right, I had the mentality, and I often said in my videos, you know, on Sunday, everything burns. On Sunday, it's carnage. On Sunday, we just go fucking wild. We smash shit, we throw shit, we burn shit. Like, that was, like, what I was putting out into the world. And that was what I learned from Redden going and stuff, right? And there was always security that were party poopers. They'd come around with their little hoses. They'd put out your fires and stuff. And I was like, after watching Woodstock and realising the worst case scenario, and probably I would imagine, and this is completely off the dome, but in training regimes that these people do, they probably look at Woodstock as like, right, this is what we have to prevent.
Yeah.
I totally get it, and I just want to go on record and say I apologise for partaking in arson after watching Woodstock, because holy fucking shit! If you haven't seen it, go watch
insane.
it, come back and listen to this podcast.
I would agree. I'm agreeing with you slightly, but they did sell firewood at the festival.
They
I am. So
They
there's part of me was like, well, you're selling the fucking thing that's going to burn. What do you think people are going to use it for?
Yeah.
Without ruining anything, because we'll get to it. It's almost like they fucking sat down and said, right, what can we do to really fuck this up? It's like it's literally as if they brainstormed and go, okay, if we do that, then that will really fucking make, Oh, who can we get on that's gonna? You could. I don't think if you had a plan to make it as fucked up as you could, with that many, I don't think you could have planned it any better.
Absolutely. It was. What's the saying? It's not a cocktail disaster, but the
combination.
The chemistry was like just rigged to fucking blow.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, Ben, can you pull up the Woodstock 99 lineup? I just want to go through the lineup, because the lineup, I'm pretty sure the poster like flashes up on the documentary, and it looked fucking insane.
Hardcore.
Like, man. I think like Metallica were like halfway down the bill as well, which to me is absolutely insane. But here we go. Oh my goodness. Right, so Woodstock. So we have James Brown. Like, obviously we'll go into more detail. I expect James Brown, hilarious thing about him. But so we've got James Brown, Buck Cherry, Bush, the Chemical Brothers, George Clinton, and the P-Funk All-Stars, Collective Soul, Elvis Costello, Counting Crows, Creed, a bit of Christian rock, Sheryl Crow, DMX, fuck, Everclear, Everlast, Fatboy Slim, Godsmack, Al Green, Guster, Mickey Hart, Planet Drum, Ice Cube, Insane Clown Posse, Jamiroquai, Jewel, Kid Rock, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Lit, Live, Los Lobos, Dave Matthews Band, Megadeth, Metallica, Moby, Mo, Alanis Morissette, Willie Nelson, Mike Ness, Oleander, Our Lady Peace, Rage Against the Machine, Sugar Ray, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rusted Root, the Brian Setzer Orchestra, Seven Dust Spitfire, The Offspring, The Roots, The Tragically Hip, The Umbilical Brothers, Wycliffe Jean, and the Refugee All-Stars. What a fucking lineup that is.
It's a sick lineup, but the most disconjointed lineup I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
None of it jokes.
No.
It's fucking
because
crazy.
they put fucking acts like fucking. They'd put probably DMX on the same stage.
You've got R&B, you've got rap,
Rage Against the
you've got heavy metal, you've got like chilled vibes stuff.
James Brown.
He
was the opener, wasn't he?
Yeah,
The whole
it's like fucking Top of the Pops on steroids.
So it's just your tash. That is a wonderful tash. For the listeners, Dan's got quite a tash today. Quite a tash.
I'm growing.
So I think before we get to the music, which we'll start with James Brown and the financial debacle there. So you have Woodstock 69 or 66? 69, wasn't it? Yeah, because they flipped the 6 upside down to make it. Yeah. So they got Woodstock 69, which was, to me, it looked like American Glastonbury. Do you know what I mean? It looked like peace and love, hippies, all that sort of...
I'd have looked...
Oh, you would have... mate. Yeah. If you had a headband on, you'd have been bosh. You'd have been in there. And it by all accounts, I'm pretty sure it was a resounding success.
Yeah.
And it was like, but I think it was almost like a one and done, wasn't it?
Yeah. For ages it was, and it was like, people there had like a food bank where everyone was like making food there and helping each other. Very like peaceful, hippie vibes. Just
Jimi Hendrix was there,
nice and chilled. That real like togetherness.
Yeah, free love,
all
that good stuff.
No,
it was no commercialism really.
No. The complete opposite.
The complete opposite of 99.
Yeah. So this was sort of like, I guess, everything that a music festival could be, and maybe you could argue should be, right? And obviously, and then over the years, nostalgia kicks in, and it becomes like this wonderful myth almost. And then 30 years later, they're like, let's do it again. And it's like, holy shit, Woodstock is back. But it is so different. Because I'm pretty sure this Woodstock 69 was done in like a field, wasn't it? Where it's like, you got beer on the tash. It's magnificent. You need to see this. So is that 69?
Yeah.
Wow. So so you got basically the resounding difference here is there is earth beneath their feet. I think is one of the big things.
They've all got their phones away as well, which I love.
Absolutely. They're not TikToking.
Ben's face.
What are you talking about, mate?
It's so good that they put their iPhones away.
That's it.
Yeah, iPhone 1s, of course.
Stop TikToking. But yeah, so it's wonderful. It's a great place to be, right? Fast forward to 99. They didn't have a venue, did they, available to them immediately?
I'd say even before that, the reason why I think they pivoted so heavily towards making profit, because I think they tried it in 94.
Yes.
Oh, did
they?
Yeah.
They had one in 94,
yeah.
And it was an absolute... They lost so much money on it.
Yeah.
So then
You're right.
They came in and they said, we're going to make money on the next one.
It was all
we
about
have to make money.
Yeah,
that's it. It was because of the infrastructure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because of all the fencing and stuff gave way. And so I think he said, like, there was 150,000 people and 100,000 people on top of that just got in for free.
Yeah.
So they didn't, make any money.
That's weird to me that, like, those extra people lost some money.
Yeah, how does that work?
Because surely, you've got your ticket price for that. Yeah, it's not good them getting in, but surely
it won't cost you additionally, would it?
And they would spend money on drinks, food, all that other stuff. Maybe they fuck shit up and had to get more people into.
Maybe.
To sort
more,
stuff out.
more security and
but
stuff.
That was like the important point where they pivoted straight away. They made it very clear that they were just going to do it and make it commercially viable.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, did they make it? Fuck it. Because they found, was it an abandoned airstrip or a discontinued airstrip? Which happened to have, I might be making this up, is it not 8 miles of wall on the exterior?
Yeah,
that was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
fucking
fucking
that
huge.
was built.
Yeah, that was already.
Yeah. It's lucky that it was discontinued, which we'll get to, because.
Oh my God! Yeah, if they were just renting it, well,
could have had planes flying about and all sorts.
Yeah, isn't it? But they're like, right, so we've got this nice, massive piece of land. It's got its own walls. It's got its own like roads to it. Wonderful, happy days. The only issue really was that it was 95% tarmac.
Yeah.
Which is okay unless there's a heat wave.
Yeah, if you're camping and you have to camp on tarmac and it's hot, unlucky.
Yeah, isn't it?
And again, you're organising it. You're going to look at the weather. You're going to kind of know the weather, you're going to be like, "Well, okay, we probably need a bit of shade."
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think they
don't give a fuck.
Which, again, like every decision that they made leading up to this just adds to the outcome. By not taking into consideration shade, by not taking into consideration all these things, it just led to absolute disaster. So they've got the space, they're setting it up, they even like paint murals on wooden
on the plaques to
make it all look a bit more peace and love and 1969 and all that good stuff. And then they start letting people in. Now, am I right in thinking, didn't they confiscate everyone's water on the way in?
They did. Yeah.
So that they could sell them water inside?
Yeah. Good move.
Yeah. When there's a heat wave coming and there's no shade, they confiscate everyone's fucking water.
What's funny about that is obviously they confiscated water and like drinks or whatever. I guess it must just be money, to sell them extra stuff, because like, now they're going to get fucked up because they've got no water. They can only buy the drink that's in there.
Yeah.
That's a silly move, isn't it? Like taking all their water. I don't know why you would do that.
No, and because did they let them in with alcohol?
I don't know.
I feel like they let the alcohol go, but not the water, which would make no sense. Because you might confiscate the water because you might think, oh well, what if that's vodka? But anyway, it turned out to be a very, very, very silly move. So they've been shafted there. You've got all your water fucking taken away, and then was there anything else to report really before the music started?
I'd say that probably there was drinking water available. Through fountains,
mate.
But it was clearly not very well planned out, and it wasn't adequate for the amount of people that were going to be there. So, yes, they could say there was an alternative to buying water, but realistically, you're going to have to buy water to get water.
And that was like $4 a bottle.
$4 a bottle.
In 1999 as well.
I
think she said like it's like 65 cents for a bottle of water, which I'm pretty sure if the exchange rate in my head is correct, back here it would have been like 30p a bottle. So all of a sudden you're paying $4. I mean, that's very common at all festivals. And I understand, like, well, the pitch costs a lot to be there and stuff, but fucking hell, I've said a few times, my uncle worked not necessarily big festivals like Christian festivals and all these sort of different festivals, and it tends to be like 3, 4, 5 grand to set up your thingy. But by the end of the weekend, each one of the food thingies was taking like 40, 50 grand.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I understand making money and stuff, but fucking hell, I personally believe when it comes to water, there should just be a cap.
Yeah, I was going to say
on the price, because water is like
it's essential.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything else is like, I think you can charge what you want. It's supply and demand, but like water, if there's enough clean, fresh drinking water in the place that you can get on, fair enough, but there never is.
No.
So there should be a cap. You're right, 100% right with water. Should be a cap.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I had it before. The music had just finished at main stage, and I was coming back to the tents and that. I was absolutely dying for a drink. I went to an ice cream van that was parked up in the main area, and it said like £2.40 for a bottle of water on the thing, but because everyone was cut, he was like, "Oh, that's £6," and it's like it says £2, but it's like, "Well, do you want it or not?" It's like, "Oh, fuck
I
off,
guess
you
that's another trouble of like capping it is that again your supply and demand. So if you've only got a certain amount of room in, you're taking 30 bottle, like I don't know 200 bottles, whatever, and then 150 go in the first hour.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, fuck it, I might as well charge more for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll get
capitalism.
You'll get another a second market opening up where someone's bought like fucking 100 bottles and they're selling for £4 a bottle. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, no, it is. But but yeah, I mean, should we talk about the water issue that happens later on? Or should we do it as we go along? Because that was fucking horrific.
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, I've given Ben some like notes or some points that happened on each day, but obviously we can jut around wherever we want to go.
I mean, I guess if we just for now, while we're talking about water, as you know, we're on a water hype right now. So obviously, with all festivals, what's the first thing to get like dirty? It's the portaloos, right?
Definitely.
Basically, the toilet situation at Woodstock broke down very quickly.
Yep.
And there's no easy way to say it. So the shitty water that was in these toilets was obviously spilling out, being destroyed, all the rest of it. It tainted the water supply, right? And someone from the health inspectors came in and took some water samples away. Oh my God, those petri dishes. There was all sorts of fucking disease in the free drinking water. The water people were brushing their teeth with, that they were showering in. Fuck. And then this was one of the bits that I felt physically sick in this documentary, was when that girl was like, "Oh, I woke up, I had cold sores, I had ulcers, blah, blah, blah." Yeah. And the doctor said, I didn't even know this was a fucking thing that existed, right? The doctor said I had trench mouth. I'd heard of trench foot. I've heard of trench mouth.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
That is fucking vile.
That's making my mouth watered, but not in a good way.
What was with that as well? The fucking people around it were just
inept.
So I'm trying to think of a word that's like PC, but they're just stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
they were all jumping on the portaloos and like jumping off, and like there's a big pile of mud, which was
which was actual shit water,
and they're like dancing in it, sliding, running in it, like they're all like as if it's mud, but it's all
actual
just pure shit.
It's human feces.
And they're all
How can you not smell that?
Yeah, I don't think they care, did they? The type of people.
Mate, it divulged quickly. But the other thing, I guess we'll talk about some of the errors around, and then we'll get to the music and the adventure. But the other thing was, which turned out to be a fucking mistake, is in the vein of peace and love and stuff, they decided to hire basically civilian volunteers as security, didn't they? Yeah. Rather than have an intimidating security that could actually keep things secure, they just hired like teenagers and shit that half of them just fucked off and just enjoyed the festival. Some of them were exploiting fucking people by being like, look, this T-shirt will get you backstage. So they'll sell their security T-shirt for $400,
and then just go and grab another one.
And then just get another one, and
they called them Peace Patrol, didn't they?
Peace Patrol, that was it, yeah. And it was, that fucking turned out well, didn't it? Yeah. So none of them were qualified. They were literally like, look, we'll give you $500 to work the festival, just keep people happy. And they got
the marketing, and they got it all so wrong, didn't they? So they've got Peace Patrol here, and then it's like your clientele you're inviting, like you're mixing bits of one festival with like the acts, and then you're having these fucking hardcore, crazy fans coming that you need hench security guards to fucking keep in. Like it was so messed up. It was. It's as if no one chatted to each other.
I know, and like how they just thought it would go well.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
fucking.
from the
I think it was quite interesting, and that was right at the start of the documentary. Was the observation that they made about society at that time, where you had like nu metal, you had like Fight Club,
yes.
There was a few other movies that they put in, but basically like an unrest. A masculine unrest that just kind of ramped up. Plus, the music of like Korn and Limp Bizkit and all these sort of heavy kind of cultural like contributors to this, again, just being a fucking explosive cocktail. But it's just very interesting. But then obviously that's fine because you have fucking festivals like down, like heavy music. I listen to heavy music all the time, especially in the gym and stuff. And like, I feel like, although I understand where they're coming from with that whole angle, at the same time, if these people were treated with even a morsel of decency, it would not have fucking divulged into what it was.
No. Also, as well, I think that they got we looked at that lineup, and you've got hardcore heavy metal fans, which traditionally not known for like having a scrap, and then you've got like these peace and like chilled out fans, but then in the middle you've got big commercial acts that like you're gonna get all your your young lads full of fucking testosterone, like who are like all pumped up. And I as a bit of a tangent, but I remember like '99, I was working in Germany with the American Army, and I remember Fight Club coming out, and I also remember it was like that they would. It was a para regiment, so they're always a bit feisty anyway. But when you're out of the piss and stuff, they would just be doing like fight with each other, not properly, but you'd be scrapping round. I think you couldn't punch each other in the face, and that was the rules. But it was all. So I imagine, I don't know. I just imagine that's what it's like with a lot of people in that time, because it's a massively influential film. Yeah. And while you wouldn't be like literally hitting each other in the face, like everyone was like scrapping was kind of like. Everyone kind of did it. Around that era. So.
And with one of the things with metal music and stuff, and something that I thoroughly enjoy personally, and I haven't been in for about 3 years, and I miss, is obviously mosh pits are a big part of that kind of genre of music. Although I have once witnessed a mosh pit to fucking Sweet Disposition by Temper Trap, which is
how the fuck does that happen?
Blows my mind. It's like the most indie music imaginable.
Oh,
There's
really?
like a vicious mosh pit going. But yeah, so yeah.
That's because they turned up for Korn.
That's it. Right. So we've set the scene. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that is. I think what's that, like
38?
38. Okay, so it's fucking hot. There's tarmac. You've been shafted because you can't bring your water in. You're thirsty. It's going to cost you $4 a bottle, which right now is probably like going and spending £7 on a bottle of water. And you're just waiting for the music to start.
Rubbish everywhere as well.
All the
bins system failed.
Yeah.
Because they fucked that up too. So, like, just rubbish.
Look at that.
Rubbish
just
everywhere.
Bottles everywhere.
And bearing in mind, you've already spent, in the equivalent of today, cheapest advance ticket was $240 today. Yeah. So you're feeling a little bit discontent right now. Okay, so you're waiting for the music, and it was quite funny. So who was it? James Brown. James Brown opens, but even that was like nearly didn't happen. I think it was alluded to that it was actually quite a while that they waited for the first sort of music to start, although it was brushed over very quickly in the documentary. But like that's another thing, if you're expecting something to start at midday and then it's got to 12:30, and you're like, where the fuck's the music? But it was because he was paid half before and was going to be paid half afterwards, but wanted all of his money up front. Apparently it's something that he does quite a lot.
Right.
And he was just stood there refusing to go on stage unless he was paid $200,000.
And
the producer guy, the showrunner, or whatever you want to call him, was literally called his wife, was like, well, you can fuck off then. Just don't play. Yeah. And next thing you know, he's on the stage and is jamming it out and people are loving it. But yeah, so you got like it was very strange, wasn't it? Like James Brown, considering that night was going to be headlined by Korn. Sheryl Crow started her set, and there was verbal abuse towards her, people shouting, unveil thy breasts,
I don't know if they put it quite like that.
Yeah, but that was, that was another thing with Woodstock '99 was like there was a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
There was a lot of nudists just walking around.
Yeah,
and a lot of free the nip happening.
That's it. The
Again, a
everywhere.
mix of like the wrong crowd.
Yeah,
it's fine to do that, and it's cool, and it's in '69, it probably happened loads. But it's like you're getting that type of crowd, but then you've also got this other.
Like the frat boys
who are who just not respecting it.
No,
and it's that's all down, in my opinion, it's all down to the organisers.
Yeah,
to navigate that.
Yeah, and have adequate fucking security, not peace patrol.
Yeah,
But yeah, and also there was like MTV were there, and I didn't realise at the time, but it was explained very well in the documentary. I felt that MTV represented everything wrong with the music industry.
Yeah.
And how it was all commercialized and stuff, and that was pissing people off. Especially, I guess people that like music like Limp Bizkit, Korn, all that. They are kind of like the
anti-establishment. Rage Against the Machine cannot be more anti-establishment if you tried. And they literally put them in the same concert or same fucking thing as like James Brown, who's a massively popular,
who refuses to play until paid. Even though in his contract it was to be paid afterwards. But yeah, so there was the crowd, although mistreated, did fucking let itself down in many areas.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a horrible shot of this girl who, I don't know if she had her breasts out because she just took them off, but there was like a crowd of men just around her, and I think it was like a reporter was like, "Come on, guys, can we just fucking back off a bit?" Jesus Christ, it was not nice to see, but yeah, so there was a lot of nudity and stuff, which, as you said correctly, fueled around the wrong kind of crowd.
Yeah.
And Sheryl Crow, was shouted at a few times when she even shouted back a few times, didn't she? When she was in
fair play to her.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's building up and it's building up and it's building up, and then one of the most insane visuals I've ever seen when Korn got going.
Yeah.
And the fucking crowd actually looked like an ocean.
Yeah.
With a fucking tide.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane for as far as the eye could see.
One guy, security guy, said that because everyone was so jammed in together, he said he watched a whole section move like 10 foot.
Yeah.
Like elevate in the air just because just literally and it's like, but when you see the images and you can see, because it is, people just it's mad, isn't it?
Fucking insane. And the other thing is, and I guess this was probably more of a problem on the Saturday, to be fair, but I think it's relevant here as well. Although the sun was going down and stuff, you've got this heat, you've got the tarmac, but the problem is when you're in a crowd of people, it's like an incubator.
Yeah.
So it could only get fucking worse and worse heat-wise. But yeah, Korn kick off and do what Korn do very well and put on a fucking hell of a show. And no doubt the pits were violent. And they absolutely crush it, and they get people to a point of fucking hysteria.
Yeah.
They are going off their fucking nuts for Korn. And then Bush come out.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I felt, I did feel for, I can't think of the lead singer of Bush's name. Do you know that I think they only separated recently. He was married to Gwen Stefani and shares 2 or 3 children with her.
Really?
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
He seemed like a nice chap.
Lead singer of Bush. Yeah.
But he was like, he was in the wrong crowd, weren't he, after that?
Yeah. Following Korn. If they'd have flipped them, I don't know how big Bush were back then. I never really heard of Bush, to be honest, but they were obviously technically headlining.
It's a step down in energy.
That's it, Gavin Rossdale.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So, and he was there to bring that peace and love.
Yeah.
But after you've just,
amped up a load of
essentially
fucking frat
taken
boys.
a crowbar to people in a mosh pit, and you get this guy come out and be like, okay, let's talk about my breakup. And, it's not going to be that great. But from what I could see, he seemed to kind of pull it off.
Yeah, he kind of turned them around, I think, towards the end.
Yeah, but it was not an enviable.
Definitely at the start. It depends how they've framed this, because they could put all this. It's the power of editing, really.
Yeah.
So they could have put all this discontent at the start of him going on with Bush, and then not actually been there.
Yeah.
But there must have been some sentiment of like, hang on.
Yeah.
You've gone from Korn to Bush.
If I was in that crowd, and there's no disrespect to Bush, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going back to the tent.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go drink back at the tent.
Yeah.
Like, I've just had Korn, I ain't fucking...
Which probably, at that point, worked out pretty good for them.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting a bit mad, it kind of... It
Just,
fucking...
yeah,
whether
let's all
intentionally or
calm
unintentionally, it kind of, fucking dimmed the mood a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically how, like, the first few days and the planning went. And pretty much like in the documentary, we're going to stop here on a fucking cliffhanger to go to a break. And when we come back,
Kicks off.
Saturday and Sunday, we'll see you in a minute. APMA, we're back. Dan's got a soggy tash.
Okay.
That's
Get hair in my mouth.
Struggling to drink that tash. Yeah, so, listen, it's all going to shit now. It's now about to descend into hell. It's also important to note, obviously, festivals, they are broad spaces. They have to be. This one took the piss. I didn't realise this. Lozzie did a little bit of extra digging. The distance between the east and west stage was 2.3 miles.
Madness.
That's so fucking far.
Yeah.
That's so far. How long does that take to walk
that's
in the heat?
Ridiculous, yeah.
What they should have done is put all the heavy acts on one and all the lighter acts on the other, and then picked out all their henchest security peace patrol and sent them over.
Henchest peace patrol.
Lock them over in that section.
Imagine someone like Dwayne the Rock Johnson with just a peace patrol shirt on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit. But so I mean that would piss me off in itself. Right, Saturday, okay. So we've woken up from the absolute carnage of last night. And there's people pretty much everywhere, isn't there? They're like they're like fucking
zombie
corpses just on the fucking grounds. There's all rubbish everywhere. I don't know if it's this one. Yeah, it is. I can see it. Today, rubbish and Saturday. Holy fucking shit. Okay, so the security have kind of had an eye-opening experience with Korn. They're like, fucking hell. Okay, so this can get really fucking bad. Yeah. And the mood, from what I can gauge, inside that 8-mile wall was quite palpable. It's fucking ramping up. There's people are getting more fucking groggy. They're getting more pissed off. They're getting more burnt, more thirsty, more angry at MTV, and now they're actually getting pissed off with the people that have set up the festival themselves. They're getting fucked off with getting ripped off for food. What was it? That guy was sat there
with a salad, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had the most sorry plate of fucking lettuce I've ever seen in my life, and a bottle of water, and he was like, that was $12. I just thought, Jesus. But again, I want to reiterate, guys, that's 99, so that's probably like fucking 19, 20 quid today.
I think the whole, it just all alludes to they just didn't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
Like 200,000 people in there and just not getting looked after.
Fucking hell.
So they start fucking building up. Oh, there you go.
Absolute fucking carnage.
I mean, it looks like a war zone.
Rubbish, plastic bottles.
It honestly looks like where you would send that shit.
Landfill.
Yeah.
To go.
Yeah, looks like landfill.
Yeah. That's just pure shit.
It's just a guy just laying in pure
covered
shit.
In shit.
Yeah.
He's got a trench mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He don't look good, does he?
No, he really doesn't. And I think, I don't know if this comes in later, but it doesn't really matter when I say this bit. The acts area where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the talent, the acts, the artists are going to be treated really well. But fucking hell. So you've got people being ripped off left, right, and centre for water, for food, for merch, everything. And then the other side of this wall, where all the artists are hanging out, they've got fucking Converse vans full of Converse shoes that they're just given to them.
Yeah.
And just all of this fucking merchandise and shit, food, the barbecues, the best bars and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Loads of space.
Yeah, so much space and grass. And they're just
vegetation,
giving them all this stuff, you know. Meanwhile, the other side of a wall is just absolute chaos. And I think they caught wind, didn't they, of what was going on, and so they started chucking stuff.
Yeah, they're just angry, weren't they?
They were getting very, very fucking pissed.
Bottles over.
I think we said it earlier as well. You know, there was no shade. No. It's just a fucking open. It's an airstrip for fuck's sake. You know,
it covered in rubbish.
Yeah,
with shitty water.
Yeah, and you know, people were getting heat stroke, and the paramedic guy that they had on the documentary was class. He was like, there was a moment where I was thinking, just fuck this, I'm gonna quit. You know, just fucking, because it was just all their resources were getting destroyed and used, and just it was an absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. Meanwhile, the people who were running it were just...
They're the most in denial group of people I've ever seen.
They were just so relaxed.
The lead guy, I think I said this to you on the phone, like, I've never seen anyone so chilled.
Yeah,
like,
unbelievable, wasn't it?
With what was going on.
Yeah.
And he would have known a lot of it getting fed back to him. And
Absolutely.
he was just like, you know, he was just like the most chill guy I've ever seen.
It's fucking mad, isn't it? Like,
I'd probably have a heart attack in his position.
200,000 people being mistreated, being abused, being hurt, heat stroke. I mean, like, I don't know if there were reports at this point, but obviously there were, you know, women that were sexually assaulted and raped, and there was 3 people that eventually died at some point over the week, you know. And this guy is just like, I think DMX are on next.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Sitting there going, yes, it's going so well. I'm just, you know, it's very,
like,
very chilled.
Yeah, and then like when it like really kicks off and stuff, and
Still
shit starts
denial,
getting
isn't it?
destroyed,
Well,
it's like, well, you get the odd outlier. I think there was a group running around.
You know,
a group of 200,000 people.
There's always a small group. No, this is not. This is everybody.
Everyone
There's
wants
a small
your
group
head
of
on a
people
pike.
not getting involved, and then there's the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see them, they're called state troopers.
Yeah.
And they're here to bail you out.
yeah. But yeah, so Saturday, obviously, the music kicks off and stuff, and it's much the same, apart from it's even fucking hotter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, there was one guy, Wyclef Jean. I mean, I no slight on him. I'm not a fucking, I don't know every single music artist ever. I'd never heard of the guy, but he...
I used to listen to rock to it.
Did he?
Wyclef. Yeah, I like very, very 90s.
Is he?
Yeah. He had some number ones and that.
He I don't think he cared too much, unless it was a protest. He didn't care too much for the environment, because
I think we're fuck. Yeah.
He told everyone to fucking throw all of their plastic bottles at the fucking at the stage
while he's on it.
While he's on it, and it was like,
it was cool.
Oh, it was unbelievable to see.
It was a torrent of plastic.
It was literally like a thunderstorm of plastic.
Yeah. I think he said it and just didn't realise how much fucking rubbish was underneath him. And then when that it's like off a movie, maybe like 300 or something, where all the arrows,
blocks out the sun.
Yeah, and it's like that. And but it's plastic bottles. And he must have been thinking, holy
shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was fucking, and it just kept going and going and going for like minutes and minutes and minutes. It was just fucking unbelievable. But yeah, and it was all building up to Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was a Saturday night, weren't they? Yeah, Limp Bizkit, and
Saturday night is where the whole thing just imploded.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was just the remnants of what had happened the night before.
Sunday, I'm sorry, Sunday was we'll get to it, but was entirely self-inflicted for the most obvious fucking reason when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Limp Bizkit, mate, fucking hell. I mean, I love a bit of Limp Bizkit. And I've seen Limp Bizkit live myself, but I've never fucking seen anything like this.
Because I've obviously only ever seen Limp Bizkit on TV.
Yeah.
And I was, now that you've said that, I was going to ask, are they usually like that live?
Absolutely.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
So, the story that always pops out to me from when I was at Limp Bizkit was I was with my friend Jordan, who 6'3", brick shit house, like bodybuilder type. I was with him. We went into a mosh pit. I lost him, came out, found him again. His shirt was gone. Don't know where that went. We go back into a mosh pit, right? And this was entirely accidental, but so Jordan like squats down. This is all in like a split second, but it's right in front of me. Jordan goes down to jump up. This girl jumps up to headbang down. Jordan's shoulder comes up. This girl's nose implodes on his shoulder. Jordan is covered in blood. We continue to mosh pit. But she did obviously go out to the, she did vacate the area and get some
in a coffin,
get some medical treatment. But yeah, but it was fucking vicious. It was very much keep the circle pit going, all that sort of stuff. At Limp Bizkit, and they were great. They were really good live. But I don't know. Well, they're obviously rather big because they were headlining that night, but they seem to be a bit like on a upward trajectory at this point, didn't they?
Yeah, they were at that point. I think they were massive.
But they're definitely not the band you'd come on, or you have to come on to calm people down.
No, absolutely not. And one of the things that was said in the documentary was, Fred Durst was more responsible. He would have calmed things down. I'm sorry, in that moment, the guy is literally a fucking god.
Yeah.
Orchestrating 200,000 people. There's no fucking way you're going to calm shit down.
Yeah.
You're going to ramp it the fuck up and see how far this ship sails, in my opinion. And,
they can't.
It went bad.
Again, they fucking booked him.
Yeah.
They know, like, again, the book Corn or whatever. Like, they know what they're about.
The whole image of the band.
Book them and then...
Hang on a minute, that's what you do?
Yeah. And then blame them.
Because also, I think Fred might have said this. Because also... They have an image, right? They can't go there and be like, "Can we calm down, please, guys?"
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Who the fuck are these losers?" And then they'd lose all their audience.
Yeah. And it's not down to them, is it? It's like, there's a bit of a caveat to that, where if he's directly saying like rip shit up and smash stuff, then it's like, that's But like,
it's just performing their music.
The organisers should have security in place. They should have stuff in place to like. To calm stuff down, because there's still groups like that who do that acts and they're like, let's go mental and mosh pits, but it doesn't transcend into chaos after.
No. But this was the moment, wasn't this where they started attacking the soundstage?
Yeah.
And they started pulling all like the wooden ply off, and then using the wooden ply as like fucking surfboards across the crowd.
That was fucking mental.
Yeah, there's just a wide shot of the stage and like 18 people on a fucking piece of plywood just going across the top of the
people in that sound bit. They had to get rescued, didn't they?
Yeah, they were like, "Please help! We need help! We need assistance right now! Please help!"
That's exactly what
one guy's like said they come and he just fucking dived over the bit, and then as he dived, it got ripped down and just like, and it might remind me of everything like ants. Yeah, all ants are like working on stuff and just moving shit.
Like World War Z.
Yeah, just it was.
And like the fucking what are they called, peace patrol. They were like, we need to get to the sound stages. So I dived over the crowd and I waded through the crowd to get to the sound stage.
Peace patrol were like, we need security.
We have no training. We have no training.
But fucking, if they and then Fred Durst jumped on one of the boards. That board.
That sums it up.
We're looking at Fred Durst on a board, right? That board is on top of probably about 30 people, and Fred Durst is stomping on it, jumping up and stomping the fuck out of it.
That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, it's just so that was fucking crazy. And yeah, it got very messy. And it was just fucking insane. And it was sort of like a taster of just what was coming.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that got hurt. Some women were sexually assaulted, which again is just fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But this is, like we were saying, this is this fucking cocktail just building up and building up. And so Limp Bizkit finishes, right? Bit of break stuff and that. And you think, okay, right, they've just destroyed the soundstage. Half the Peace Patrol are dead, right? And we're gonna have to inform their families. And
there's been a Limp Bizkit massacre.
Yeah. So what they do is they move everyone over to the drum and bass tent, which goes on to the early hours, and Fatboy Slim is over there. So, you know, a big act.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, kicking it all off and that. And shit's getting pretty fucking gnarly in there. And then I just couldn't believe in the documentary.
Fucking insane.
Like, and then I could just see like 2 headlights.
Yeah.
And people had commandeered. Was it an ambulance or
it's like a fucking
some sort of
military truck,
some sort of truck? And
like
they commandeered,
style,
commandeered this fucking truck, and some guy that was apparently like completely glazed over in the eyes, just off his fucking nut, was just driving this fucking van. It's a miracle that no one got ran over. Into this tent full of thousands of people. People were jumping all on the fucking van and stuff, and Fatboy Slim was eventually told that he had to stop performing unless they got the truck out.
What's weird about that as well, when I think about it, you say like it shows the temperament of everyone that's around. Because imagine you're at a fucking Fatboy Slim show, and you're there, and then all of a sudden you see a truck. No one's jumping out and going mad. You're like, fucking get in there, let's sort the problem out.
Yeah.
But I think everyone was just in that chaos stage where everyone's like, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Let him go.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't it? It's insane. I don't know how slow the truck was going for people not to get run over.
I think it was just
it was crawling.
Just crawling in.
It's still a fucking truck moving through thousands of people.
Yeah. And then they went over to it to try and stop it and try and get it out. And the guy said it was one of the worst things he ever saw when he opened the door, and there was a girl incapacitated on the ground and a guy pulling his trousers up. Obviously, piece of shit. And I hope that justice was served. But it's just fucking. And then the was it? I think it was Fatboy Slim just saying like the duality of that moment. You know, you got all these people just off there not having a great time. Then obviously something so fucking awful happening right there, but obviously no one knew because it was in. And
his like, I think it was his manager or like he was like, we fucking need to go.
Yeah,
like we need to get out. And he's like I had to run out, and he's like pretty much running for his life.
Yeah,
it's just all kicking off.
It's fucking absolutely crazy, isn't it? But yeah, Fatboy Slim, I think that's the quote from him. They're saying, I thought it was a kind of floating dance platform, like a podium, with about 20 or 30 people on it, which turned out to be a van.
Yeah,
a gang of people had stolen the van. It's just fucking crazy.
The visual of seeing that, because they actually managed to film.
Yeah, they filmed it.
Time. The visual of that moving through the crowd is just like unreal,
mind bending, isn't it? It's just like that shouldn't.
It reminded me of like the watching it. It reminded me of The Purge.
Yeah,
just
same sort of vibe.
Yeah, absolute chaos.
Yeah,
and like just people not giving a fuck.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's actually insane that it just divulged into that level of fucking chaos. And that brings us nicely really to the final day, to the Sunday, to the day where everything burns. But much of what has been happening throughout the last few days obviously bleeds into Sunday, but by this point everyone, I mean, you kind of get this with every festival, to be honest, in that everyone's tired. You know, the Sunday is a bit like, do you know what, if it weren't for these good music acts, I'd fucking happily go home. You know, everyone's kind of got to the end of their tether, and a lot of people were actually leaving, weren't they, during the day on the Sunday. Everyone smells, everyone's tired. A lot of people have now got trench mouth, and they're just not having a good time. But Chili Peppers are on. Do you know what I mean? So they all wait for Chili Peppers, and to kind of sum up the anarchy, Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers bass player, comes out fully nude. I literally watched Flea's penis for about 15 minutes in this documentary. That was
I mean, I've seen him live, and I never saw that.
Yes, same as that never happened.
He didn't do it when we watched him.
What was weird about that? Just there was rumours and everything going around. Again, this is like another thing that they. All rumours going around. There's a massive. Obviously, you had Chili's playing, which is big enough, but there was all rumours that someone bigger was coming. After that, and it's like, it's going to be massive, and I don't know. I don't know whether that happens normally or.
Well, I remember one year at Reading Festival, rumours spread round. It wasn't a big deal. Well, it was to me. Like, that basically Foo Fighters were headlining, but apparently Tenacious D, which is Jack Black's band, were going to play with them.
Right.
Which is like, what? Because, like, I know Dave Grohl's, like, performed in a lot of Tenacious D songs and stuff, and it was like, oh my God, that's fucking sick. And then Foo Fighters come out, and it's like,
bit of an anticlimax.
Where's Tenacious D? You know? And it was just purely a fucking rumour that had started, in the camps. But yeah, so you're absolutely right. There was a rumour that, someone was coming on, someone even bigger than Red Hot Chili Peppers was coming on. But so Red Hot Chili Peppers are killing it. People are still getting rowdy and shit. And and then the fucking producers of this show, the owners or whatever you want to fucking call them, the people that put this show on, thought it would be a great idea to, in the name of anti-gun crime, hand out 100,000 candles to this rabid crowd. And don't get me wrong, some of the visuals, I got what they were going for. Because when you saw like the candles lit and stuff and they were looking out into the crowd, it looked cool. But obviously, the inevitable fucking happens, and they use these candles to set one fire, which got quite large, and then another, and then another, and then another, and before you know it, there's 6 or 7 massive bonfires.
Also, it was 200. It was over 200,000 candles.
It was 200,000 candles.
The amount of people, watching Chili Peppers was 220,000 people.
Give every single person a candle. The funny thing about that, there was within the teams, there's like a 23-year-old, I think, guy.
Yeah.
And he was like,
you shouldn't do this.
Like the field, I think he was like ran like the fire stuff as well. And he's like, don't do this. Like he spoke to the safety, and they were like, whatever you do, don't do this. And he was also the one saying like, don't mix these bands. Don't like.
Yeah, he was like the only one with a level head the whole time, and he was constantly shat on and ignored.
They were like, fuck this guy. He's 23, has no idea what he's talking about. And if he ran the festival, he'd probably go all right.
Yeah, it would have been fine. And so all these fires happen. Then the fire department refused to come in and put them out because of their own safety. And it just, at this point, is fucked. Like, completely and utterly fucked. And they lose control.
Given what has happened the previous 2 days, all right, well, Thursday we'll give them a bit of a pass on because not a lot really happened in terms of destruction. But Friday, there was a lot of fucking angst, and definitely Saturday. I just want to know what thought process you've got going. Let's give them the capacity of starting fires. All of them.
The thing is they know that they're all fucking angry. It's I get the premise of the lighters and the gun thing, and but you're not giving it to a chill crowd.
No,
it's not 69. They're all fucking mad and angry, and they're like, "Oh, you might as well give them all a gun and say let's shoot it up in the air and just see what happens."
That would have probably led to less chaos. To be honest,
true.
Like fucking, but this was just everything was set on fire. Chili Peppers had to stop early, I believe.
Yeah. They were literally as well stoking the fire, ripping anything down near them, boards off the out. They were like, "Let's burn the whole place down."
Yeah. And then they started booting all the panels through. They descended on the fucking vendors, shopping vendor area and just fucking robbed shit, smashed shit. They were just out of control.
Proper mob mentality.
The shots in that documentary, it's literally like looking at an apocalypse. Like the world has ended, and now like the police are gone. There is no fucking rules anymore.
Crazy riots.
Oh my fucking god! The sky went orange. From the fucking fires.
Honestly, it looked like it had just been carpet bombed.
It's fucking,
the reporters were it's like a war zone. They were like, "We need to get out of
here now."
Running for their lives.
And that reporter who went into, he was like literally leaving,
moment,
and he was like, "No, we need to go in there and film this."
Yeah. He's the only reason that footage got out.
I won't lie to you. If I was still on the Music Fest hype and that was happening, I'd be like, well, in we
you'd be
go.
like, this is gonna bang.
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
this will bang on my chat. I'm sending this shit out.
100%. But fucking, it was just absolutely mental. Shit was getting robbed, and all sorts of fucking stuff was going on, and it got to such a point where all the staff barricaded themselves in the office.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a guy like fucking hammering a piece of plywood.
Like zombies.
Oh, literally. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And then they just abandon it. They're like, this is done. We got to fucking get out of here. And then the fucking state troopers fucking rock up.
Yeah.
And just
fully geared.
Oh man, and just like turn it over basically.
Even then, it wasn't like
everyone.
it wasn't instant.
No,
everyone was like still doing shit and fighting against them. But the place, all the walls were ripped down. It was
absolute carnage.
Ruined,
everything. When they went in the next morning, there was a car that was flipped upside down.
Yeah,
how the fuck
out.
did they flip a car upside down?
That's it.
That's
we're not humans together with like we're like ants. They're actually so powerful that they can and buildings, all the trucks set on fire, all the
all of the caravan thing. Oh man,
I'd imagine they must have gone to the celebrity bits. Oh, fucked all that up.
Yeah.
And whatever was left.
Got a few Converse shoes.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. Yeah, it was absolute just devastation. And then obviously they didn't do another one.
No.
God, there might be a Woodstock 2030. You'd never know.
I feel like if they did one now, it would be a lot less carnage. I think we're more nowadays. We're more in tune with the first one than that one. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
But
it depends what acts you get, I guess.
Yeah. But I was saying, because I was watching it with my girlfriend, I was like, fucking hell, like, imagine if TikTok, Instagram, blah 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 was a thing back then. Imagine the footage from that. Obviously, don't get me wrong. In the documentary, there's amazing footage from that night on the Sunday where it all went to shit. But imagine like the POVs from like thousands of people.
On that, because someone mentioned that there's no like outlet for that era of that group of people at that time, and I wonder if now, because of the accountability of like people filming and seeing you do shit, and also like like the world's like with like people do stuff and you get backlash on social media like look at this dickhead like fucking or like is this guy molested? I don't think people would do it if there was
true
filming.
And also but I also think that the organisers would have been fucking shut down before the Sunday even happened.
True. Because everyone would be, you're right,
everyone would be like, well, look at this
you're right. So like
they'd be filming that there wasn't the water like brown
and the rubbish. You're so right with that. And that's a good side of social media.
The moment that they got the samples back from the lab, and it was
it would have been
it had literal
how did
shit
how did that? Because that was the health inspector. How did that not shut the place down?
I guess this stuff as well comes out after. I know that they did it on the time, but like in those days, you could hide shit. You could be like, oh, that's fucking... Because it's not going to get out. It's brush it to one side. Obviously, like you said, you'd never heard of it. I had never heard of it. Like, they probably kept all this quiet within the...
True.
Because only the people that went there that knew about it, and they tell their friends whatever. But obviously nowadays, that would be... If that happened now...
Oh, fucking hell.
It would be fucking... Look at Fire Festival, which in comparison wasn't anywhere near as bad as that with what happened to people. Like, all the fucking dodgy shit that went on.
It's just fucking... It's just... I like I say, I totally get it now. I get...
why they are.
Why you don't want it to descend into that.
To chaos, I find it interesting as well that and again, I think it's like people are less accountable then, but the mob mentality that like when, everyone's doing it, like people who wouldn't necessarily get involved just are a bit angry and they think, fuck
so
it,
strange,
I'll throw a brick, like, and it's, you get involved with that crowd.
It
shows how easy
like
it is.
Hive mind, doesn't it?
That's what. Hive mind. It
is so fucking strange.
That's insane.
That's what you see. Where you see like looters and stuff in riots. That, people with no criminal record or anything like that, but they just kind of get into and it just all fucking.
And often they're taking shit that they don't even fucking want. It's like, why have you taken this box of Converse? Because it was there.
Not even your size.
I do get it, because even at football matches and stuff, like you can find yourself getting involved.
Absolutely.
It's
a fucking scary part of humanity, I think. But at the same time, as much as it was absolute chaos and stuff, it did make me miss music festivals. So I haven't been to one since 2018.
I mean, the Chili's
2019.
Yeah, you went in 2019, I think.
I haven't been. Obviously, there must have been some on now post.
I think there was one last year and this year, I think.
Yeah.
Was there one I think it was reduced capacity last year, and then This year back to normal.
There's definitely one this year, yeah. Back to normal.
Yeah, but even just live music, I haven't been to a gig in so fucking long.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just fucking. That was a hell of a documentary. Like I watched the whole thing. It's 3 1-hour episodes. I just watched the whole thing in one go, and I was like, holy fucking shit.
Well, I mean, if you haven't watched it,
it's
fucking go watch it.
It's well worth a watch if you've got any interest in anarchy.
Yeah, anarchy or music.
Yeah.
But just it's quite good psychologically. It's quite interesting as well. It's
absolutely fascinating.
Just finding out, like, if you keep pushing people,
you
know what they'll do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah.
What's that?
I went, yeah. But yeah, no, Ben laughed at me.
Ben was on it.
Yeah, but no, you're absolutely right, and it just shows, how quickly as well. It took 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days of taking you like.
So if something happened, and the police were taken away,
what happened? Yeah,
what happens?
Because like
bringing the peace patrol.
Like, when shit happens, like in the past with like lockdowns and stuff, like food supply, like don't take long before like you're stripped of your necessities.
Yeah,
and like say crowd mentality.
It may be a silly comparison, but I'm not being funny. Look at what people turned into when toilet roll ran out.
Do
you know what I mean? We had people fucking like screaming at each other in fucking supermarkets, hoarding the shit, and it's just like, Jesus.
No, there are still shops now that only let you get a maximum of 4 of the same item.
Really?
Because of that.
It's fucking just crazy, isn't it? I'll tell you, we're
a fickle.
We are one bad day away from oblivion. I think.
If you look at the supply chain for like all of our shops, I think it's like 2 or 3 days of like because it's called. I think it's called on time supply. So something. It's a system anyway, and it all links in, so it makes fresh food like constantly right. But we're only a couple of days off, like the shops being empty.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So like we're so, cash machines or fucking electric and stuff goes down. Like we don't have long.
It's
to end on a good note.
That's it.
Because in reality, that
we might see you next week. We might all be dead.
Although it took those 3 days for that to obviously boil over, it really only took like an hour. For it to actually kick the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like for shit to go really bad.
That's just 200,000 people. Imagine like a nation. Doing that, and it's no wonder they they lock you in over like lockdown. No wonder they get them locked in their house.
Yeah.
Because if they're all out, you're gonna fucking cause chaos.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Scary stuff.
APMA on the streets, a series coming soon.
That's it. But yeah, so that was Woodstock. It was an absolutely fucking fantastic documentary and a tragic weekend.
Yeah.
But I think we'll leave it there for this week. But boys, thank you so much for joining me.
Loved it.
And if you enjoyed, hit that like button, share, all that good stuff.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and we will see you very soon.
Up the APMA.